if I remember it. All right. Anyway, we got a holiday week this week, and these holiday weeks are mostly about unusual activity in individual names more so than the market. That came at a good time in a sense because we really could use a little cooling down, especially in the indices because of all the heat out there and everything else. And we're getting that, as you can see. We haven't really gone anywhere too far, basically off this niner right here, if you look at it. All right. So that's good. And the reason that's good, little by little, I mean, those of you who are members see day-to-day updates on tactical sentiment and stuff like that. Keep those things in check and allow the music to play a little bit longer. This market, I mean, has done an incredible job of hiding some of the craziness underneath the hood and individual names, hiding it in the indices. I sound like a broken record. We've been talking about this for several webinars now. If you're just not a player who participates in individual names, especially small caps and stuff like that, you're missing out on really the juice of this market right now. There's a lot of juice in this market. We'll go over several names. I would like to spend most of the webinar going over a few names because, again, that's what this market's been all about. All right. And, you could really see it actually in IWM. There you go. Right. Is there a small cap? It used to be SML. Is there a small or a micro cap index anymore? Is this it? Small type. No, that can't be it. IWC? Yeah, there you go. Oh, so this is an ETF. All right, but it's worth keeping an eye on. IWC. Oh, Russell Growth. But is there an index? These are ETFs. Is there an index? Like it used to be the SML, like the RUT. All right, no big deal. Anyway, this gets the job done, shows you exactly what's going on here. Look at this, right? Like this is the Russell 2000 growth, and it looks a lot different than, the Dow, right? Look at the Dow. Hasn't done anything of late. SPX, more of a grind higher. No, RTY, those are the futures for the Russell. I'm talking about for small micro caps. I gotta do a little homework to find it. No biggie, but it would give you guys a good idea of what's going on under the hood. All right, so for the most part, that's where I've been focusing all my time and energy. There are times I don't even know what the indexes are doing. I really don't. So out of today, if you put a gun to my head today, I would have to guess what the market did. I know the S&P 500 finished red, but I don't know what anything else did. I really don't. I don't pay attention anymore. Okay. And between all the flow and the price action out there in these individual names, there's just no reason to. There's just the risk reward here on like the S&P is nowhere near, nailing a VLDR or QS or, what I mean? Or even a more well-known name. There's been some really nice moves. Software names, MGNI, all those type of things. All right. I think this is something that's not going to go away. I think there's going to be rotation. There's going to be phases, right? So in other words, when these things get overheated and at times they're going to overshoot to the upside because they've been out of favor for so long. But when they need to breathe, there's going to be a breather in these under the hood names, right? Under the radar names. and you may see, some of the industrials or some of Fang and some, something of that magnitude outperform. But I think as we go into next year, I think this is the big one. I think this is the unwind of what we've become accustomed and used to in these markets, what feels like forever, a decade. All right. And for those of you who haven't been around these webinars, what I'm referring to is, for at least the last 5 years straight, anytime the market wanted to show strength and rally, it would be the NASDAQ, the S&P 500 that would take a leadership role, and it would be the big guys. It would be Fang, it would be Microsoft, right? And a handful of just mega cap names. All right. If you didn't buy those, there was a good possibility that you underperformed. Sometimes, a lot of times, maybe didn't even participate in the rally if you didn't buy those names, right? The NVIDIAs of the world, those type of things. This is the total opposite. Okay. If you focus your time and energy and your funds in your account to those type of names, you have been underperforming now. I don't care what you own. Even, if it's been okay over the past month, it doesn't even come close to some of the returns in the small cap arena. All right, so it could be a lot of fun, and if this thing has legs, it could be a lot of fun, but it could be very frustrating for a lot of players in this game who don't want to acknowledge it. Or maybe it's not their bag, right? Maybe it's not their thing. All right? And listen, I'm no one to tell anybody how to play the game if they're finding success. But, if that's your style where you only follow 5 names and you play the indices, you had your days in the sun. You had your fun. You had your fun. Hopefully you made enough money, and it's not going to be awful. You're not going to lose money when the market's going higher, but again, you're not going to participate in what's really on fire out there, the juice, as we like to say. All right, so that's that. As we go into next year, even more so if we get some sort of little gut check correction, I think that's what we'll see coming out of that. Yesterday we had an attempt at a gut check in the market. But again, those of you who were watching the flow with me, it didn't matter. The market sold off, the future sold off overnight. We opened up lower, and it's not like they came in and bought the indices. They just kept buying the same type of stuff they've been buying. And most of the stuff was green. 15 minutes into the open, most of the stuff, the type of names they were buying, were already green yesterday, before the indices even bounced. And that's the other beauty of this type of action here. You don't need the indices. We've been so trained, especially like with sentiment, right? We need to buy when when you had bullish sentiment signals, that's where you made most of your money, because you needed the wind at your back and you needed the market to go higher to help, whatever you were buying at that time. In this type of environment, you don't need that. You don't need that, right? The market could be down like today or yesterday, and if the name that caught sweeper activity that you happen to be in gets hot, it can buck the trend. All right. I'm sure you guys have several names that bucked the trend today. S&P 500 down, and you wouldn't have known it if you weren't particular names. All right. So that's the good thing about it. We still want to pay attention to sentiment. We don't want to get over our skis when things are too hot. But if you are going to stick out your neck in any way, you're better off doing it at a quality spot or solid action in an under the hood name rather than one of the big guys. All right. And that's a big difference. to what we've seen for so long now. Let's get to, how did this come up? What the hell is that? Unfortunately, I don't have that today. They didn't, Lowen, I don't think, put out a note. All right, so here's some of the stuff I wanted to show you. You know, sideways market, right? Again, we all probably have a handful of names each that have gone bananas over the last few days. Okay, what happened? You know, for some of the sentiment indicators out there, they actually have cooled. All right, because the reopening names, the stuff that a lot of players rushed into, have been getting a little beat up. I wouldn't say beat up, but they've been trading lower. You know, they've been trading lower. So sentiment has actually cooled, even though a lot of the names we've been playing in the Steam room they're even hotter than they were. Okay, so that's good. That's good. A couple other things I wanted to show you here. Hedge funds, we've been keeping a close eye on them as a whole, right? You know, they're nowhere near all in, right? And here's another thing, like with hedge funds, when they were all in FANG. That's what they were all in. FANG was the most crowded trade on the face of the earth for ages. Okay, that was the hedge fund's bread and butter trade, FANG. Just keep buying FANG. Okay, so now, you know, they have to adjust, and they got to buy some of the other stuff out there, right? In different sectors of the market. Now, you know, this is a whole new can of worms here. So as you can see off this particular indicator, they're not even making a dent. They're not even making a dent. You know, so they got to buy, and you think about it, the money they pull out of Facebook, okay, the amount of money they have in Facebook, if they pull out a little bit of Facebook, they can buy probably 20 different SPACs in one round. You know what I mean? There's big money that they had tied up in that. So this is a good sign as well. They really don't have much to sell. Supposedly they've been selling FANG and they've been going into reopening plays. But now with COVID lighting up a little bit, maybe they've been lightening up in those reopening plays. You know, and not to bounce around, this is another good thing that's happening here, right? You see how some of the small caps and some of the tech names, software names have been the strong spot of this market in recent days, okay? When they need to actually cool off, there were so many other things right now that have already been cooling off that they can rotate into. So they can keep moving money around, and that's what ultimately keeps these indices in decent shape, right? It's hard to get any real sell-off when money just keeps moving around. And that has to do with liquidity too. So that's the reason why they're doing that. All right, so that's still in good shape. The CTAs, they're in the same boat. You know, they're in the same boat. This is out of Nomura. This is just in the indices now, S&P 500, right? This is where they were all pretty full back in late August, right? That's late August, you know, and here you can see they've just been kind of stuck here. All right, that's the S&P 500. And a lot of people are saying that once the VIX finally really rolls over, that's where you'll probably see NASDAQ. You could see they've been increasing their position of recent here. You know, they've been increasing their position of recent. All right, so these are more trend systematic traders. All right, so that's the story there. Let's talk about names, because that's what it's all about right now. All right, that's what it's all about. Before you get into some of the names, in all likelihood, that have already moved, that you guys are going to mention and ask me about. Let's talk about a couple names today that caught some interesting action that I played, and maybe what the hell on these things? Maybe worth you guys taking a look. We had this space, and most of you remember space off of this rally here, right? Just a beast move off this 9er sig right there. And what happened was space was notoriously known for catching these small, I shouldn't say small, but cheap weekly spec buyers, right? The stock, the options never attracted real buyers. It's always traders, looking to flip it, that type of thing. Cheap premium, they're not putting much money behind it. They're rolling the dice over the short term, right? Then what happened was, right as actually Bank of America started coverage with a buy. So you had a real house like Bank of America, who has some clout when it comes to individual names as far as coverage. They started coverage with a buy, and they really got gassed up. It was a really bullish note at Abova. I think, where was that? I don't remember the exact date. I think it was part of this run or around here somewhere. Anyway, right around there, right after there, not too long after there, is where this thing really started to catch some. This is probably it. The gap up. There it is. That's the Bova note. Right here. So right after that, that's when this thing really started to catch some good-looking sweeper activity. All right, and why is that important? If you're looking to just day trade it, right, or flip it, ride the momentum and flip it, you don't care, right? The cheap junk can get the job done because you're just looking for momentum anyway of sweeper activity. But if you were looking to possibly build a position in it longer term, right, or even swing trade it for a couple, a month or so, that's something where you want to see some real buying. You want to see some commitment, right? You don't want to see weekly call sweepers come in today and then tomorrow they could be sweeping the other side, right? They could be sweeping puts. So that's where the real buying started up, and then this thing just got hot, right? Too hot. Okay, so anybody who was interested in the name bought and sold it, right? Or maybe missed it and wanted an entry. You really have to wait. You can't buy this thing here, right? You need to see a breather first, and then you can reevaluate, see what the sweeper activity looks like, that sort of thing. And today, right here, off on little pull because one of their things crashed recently. You got an opportunity. They were hitting Feb calls. There was several good-looking Feb sweeps. They hit short-term strikes all around it. So it was good-looking action. It was good-looking action. Oh, what the hell is that? Why does that do that? This is becoming a repair. And you could see off the action, it got pretty hot. So this is the move off the sweeper activity today. So you could even get a decent day trade out of it as well today. All right, but worth a look, still at a decent spot, and some action there. Right? You don't have to chase it. Another name actually had a really nice move today, percentage-wise. I don't know what the hell the options did because I've been playing a little stock, but here, CLDR. All right, so this is one of those software names, not the best company on the face of the earth, growth-wise, compared to some of those beasts out there. So more of a laggard in the group, has seen flow before. We know this name well. And they came in today and got aggressive. So if you're in, this is a name you could day trade every time they hit it like they hit it today, I day trade it every time. But, if you're in it already off the sweeps, you may want to hang on. All right, you may want to hang on. Maybe you get lucky and this thing has some decent follow through. All right, but it had some decent action today. Another new name. Okay, and they were sweeping it. There's been some sweeps prior, but today the action got hot and offered up a decent spot if you were interested in it. All right, a couple other names that I've been playing. I just give you guys an idea of what type of names I'm playing. I'm not playing any of the big guys. I'm playing, some of the names aren't that thin, but I've been playing a lot of, the more under the radar they are, the better for me. This thing had a real nice snapback today. This is a one to watch on dips, Vive, right? Did we talk about this last week? No, this they hit at the end of the week. Caught another missile with some time behind it. All right, this thing catches good looking action. VEEV. This is a beast of a stock too. Nice spot. Fastly caught a little more action today. I wouldn't chase this Fastly at this point. Because this thing already has had a decent move from where they started hitting it. I would wait for weakness if you're interested in that. This VRM, I sold it a couple days ago. I was more than happy. This thing's still going. Right? And again, the spots, like for me, that's what I've been most excited about. You got a lot of heat out there. All right. I mean, I'm not one who's going to play like some of these battery alternative energy names that are up 5 days in a row. I probably played them at some point, but I'm not going to play them, after 5 straight days of tattooing from sweepers and 5 straight up days. I just can't do it. So the beauty of this, I guess, rally or this underbelly rally has been that they're finding decent spots in a lot of names, all considering. Usually you have this long in the tooth in a rally in a market, sentiment is pretty hot. You don't find names at decent spots, but they continue to find them. Right? So you had this Vroom, right? Hasn't done anything. Was a good day, was a solid day trade a couple times, or some action, and caught some action again. You could have day traded it. You could have held it one more day, got a follow through. And if you wanted to get greedy, if you're in the equity, raise a stop or roll out calls, whatever your bag is, you got a really nice move. I mean, you're talking about what here? An 8 to 10 point move on this room. I mean, that's insanity. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yep, crazy percentage-wise. So that's been a nice one. Here's another one. I don't know, this might be a little too under the radar for you guys, thin-wise, but, MRVI. I play the equity. I don't even know. Somebody told me they're COVID-related or something. I don't know. I don't even know what they do, half these things. But MRVI caught some unusual sweeper activity, right? And where'd they hit it? Right here. Right, I think it was actually, one of these two bars here. So right over here, let's call it. So you see what I mean? I'm not buying it up here after 10 straight days up, and they've been sweeping it for 10 days. This is the first time I've ever saw sweeper activity in the name, and perfect spot. All right? So this is how I'm treating it with the equity, for those of you who are equity players. I get in here. If this stock doesn't look right, either goes south or sideways for a little longer than I would like, with this type of market we're in, I'm not sitting in it. I get the hell out. Sometimes it backfires and these things go, but I don't care, right? I want to keep it moving. There's things all over the place that are flying. So I get in, and a lot of times things are so hot out there. You just look, you're 25 and change, $5 on a $25 stock, almost in the straight line. I'm out of it already, but it looks like it's still going higher. I'm just showing you the difference of names here. Like, a lot of people think it's like, oh, like when they hear when you talk about underbelly, you're scalping small cap thin names. That's couldn't be further from the truth. You guys know this DT. I was all excited about it. I'm not in it anymore, but I was all excited about it. I think this thing has a chance to be a beast long term. I really do. Maybe we'll get another chance to get in here. All right. So you want to talk about spots? All right. This is a software name. Okay. This thing has been consolidating forever. I've been waiting for really good looking action in this thing forever. And it just didn't show up. And then lo and behold, where do they come in? And the type of action couldn't get better than it. You couldn't ask for better action in it than what it caught. Yeah, it might be a drunken Miller play. It might be. He likes to buy these things, right? So that's where the action came in, right? And the thing just exploded right off the action because it doesn't see action like that. All right, then you got a ponytail pump from CNBC. And before you know it, you got a nice cushion. So if you don't mind like sitting in a name and milking it because you like it and you want to see more upside, if you're in the equity, you raise your stop, right? You be smart about it and you try to catch a little extra. All right. But either or, if you're looking to be tactical, boom to boom, in that short amount of time, can't beat it. Can't beat it right off the action. Okay, this is the name I'm going to be watching on dips because some of the better looking action in this DT was the first risk reversal in July that they hit before the hot action came in. That was over here somewhere. So there's some time there. So I'm going to be looking at this thing on every dip anyway, barring the whole market doesn't fall apart. What else we got? Oh, here's one I sold. What did it end up doing the rest of the day today? Oh, off the highs a little bit. But, what are you going to do? PSTG. You guys remember the action in this thing? Was on the top bet list. Ridiculous action. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Again, the name could have been day traded. Incredible move off the sweeper activity. I actually held it because I really liked the action. So a lot of us, we were in off here. Okay. So over here, I had a nice little cushion. I held it. I held it. I held it. I got a little frustrated over here that I held it for so many days. It didn't really have a pop. And now watch what she does. She'd probably go to 50 in the straight line. But, incredible action. We were talking about this for a couple of weeks now. What else I got on this? VLDR. I hope you guys caught the VLDR. That's all I got to say. I hope you guys caught this VLDR. It doesn't get any more obvious. The only way I think you didn't catch the VLDR is if you weren't around. And then, what are you going to do? If you're not around, right? If you weren't around when the action came in, that's the only way. No? Be honest. Am I exaggerating when the action that came into VLDR was obvious, right? Obvious. I mean, it was, right? They were just loading up. And you know what was weird? It was, they were hitting Apple really aggressively yesterday at the same time. But Apple, Apple could catch that type of sweeper activity. It's nothing, you know what I mean? We've seen that before. But they were really aggressive in Apple as well. And then all of a sudden that news comes out with Apple, like, give me a break. They had the news. That's why they can sweep a name like this so aggressively. Ridiculous. So this thing goes what? We're at 20 to 31 in 2 days. Boom, boom. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of that. You know what it is? In these names, you could pick up on it. When it's the big names that are in play, it's not that easy. They catch so much action. It's not that easy. But VLDR doesn't catch sweeper activity. Just doesn't catch it. It just started catching sweeper activity. So that's why, and this is not, like, look at this thing. What the hell was this thing beforehand? I mean, what was it, a penny stock? Oh, was this a SPAC? This must have been a SPAC too, right? It was? Jesus. SPACs. Oh, I see you guys mentioning already a couple names. This CLSK is another. Look at this. Look at this. This one bothers me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. This one bothers me a little bit. Because it came out with that Bitcoin news literally a day after I got out of it. But whatevs. MVIS, incredible action. Let me tell you something. They were hitting this thing. They got a patent today, MVIS. Did you see the news? They got a patent for that 3D technology. Did you guys see that? I posted the link. Anyway, you have to see some of the sweeps that came in after that patent win. You know, like all of a sudden, buyers were waiting for it. You know, this is I can't keep up with these things. I can't keep up with these things. Well, you guys had this. Did you guys, now for a day trade, did you have this you held it for a couple days? If you held it for a couple days, then you can let it bother you. You can't let a day trade bother you. I've day traded all these things, and you can't let that bother you. Dan, we haven't seen anything like this. You know what I mean? So this is new. Nobody has the answer to that because we haven't seen any, Fed action like this. Like, look, okay, you guys know we've been looking at this chart forever, right? When money has to find a home, okay, especially when you're coming out of a crash scenario, right, where now it's almost like the economy's starting to rebuild, right, with all this stimulus. When you have something like this and there's so much liquidity out there, really the only thing that stops it, Dan, is the Fed. The Fed. That's it. It's the Fed. It's that simple. It's the Fed. Because what happens is there's too much money out there. You understand? There's too much money out there. So now everybody, you don't have to be Einstein to realize that this alternative green energy thing is huge. Okay? But usually it's a supply and demand thing, right? When there's not enough demand out there and, you have a bunch of all these SPACs and investment vehicles come out, there's not enough people who want to invest their money in these things. It becomes saturated. Now they're saying there's not enough vehicles for this money to find a home. There's so much money on the sidelines that wants to be in this alternative energy space. They can't find enough places to put it. They can't find enough places to put it. Yeah, you got Bitcoin. Well, look at Bitcoin. That thing's flying, right? Look, Bitcoin's flying. So what's going to happen is next year is going to be interesting because if we finally see that last thing to happen where that big rotation out of bonds into equities, you're talking about a big shift of money. I don't even know what that's going to look like. But ultimately, that's what's going to put an end to this because rates are going to rise. They're going to rise too much, and the Fed's going to have to tighten, and it's game over. You understand? It's game over. But right now, the Fed's not even thinking about raising rates. So if you're not thinking about raising rates, people are flush with cash. There's cash all over the yard. So that's what's going on. Again, it's going to find different places, but that's why we're seeing that incredible right? We've been talking about that. Where's Tree? Tree knows. We've been talking about that spec appetite out there. Right? There's just an appetite for speculation that's insane. Insane. There you are. Right? You see that that speculative nature out there, right? They're hungry. 99 was different. 99 was a whole different. 99 was very different. Very different. 99 was extremely different. Maybe it eventually turns into 99. Maybe next year turns into a 99. But it's just different. It's just different. What other names we got here? You want to talk about some other names that caught action today? You had a couple. Yeah, I was just going to say LA Clippers. You guys know this name, right? So, this is, I don't know, what makes them, what do they do? Anything different than the rest of them that we should know? LA Clippers? Yeah. I'm saying it's just one of these battery names, lithium. So here, you got a decent setup here that this thing kind of got into some lengthy consolidation here, right? And, today they really came after it. I don't remember action in this thing like we saw today. I don't remember it, I've seen little sweeps here and there from time to time, but nothing like we saw today. Let me get this off here. Ooh. Clear. Oh. And, same thing. You had a really strong run, and you had some nice consolidation here. You had an early niner here. That was way too early, but hung in there. And then you had a nice niner here, a little longer in consolidation, and that's a nice spot. And again, today, if you had your eyes open, and I know a lot of you follow this name, so you probably did, you could have had some cushion there, right? This thing had a really nice run intraday. Really nice run, as the action heat up. Uber's a beast. I mean, that Uber catches some flow, boy. They just finished tattooing the March 55 calls. What was that? Last week? Like tattooing it. Not even last week. It's got to be a couple days. And now they came after a whole bunch of new things today. I mean, the only thing for me is, again, the spot. It's better than where it was. You got a little breather. Sometimes that's all you're going to get in this market, or you'll miss it. But me, what I've been doing is I've been being a little more selective as far as anything I might hold the equity for a few days or a week. I want the spot. That's the only time I'll hold for more than a day trade. It's got to be like there. You know what I mean? I don't want to come in after this, even though some of these things, you still get nice rallies, because I want the initial bang bang, not secondary and third, fourth follow through type things. I want the initial bang bang. The initial bang it gives you so many different decisions it allows you to make. So like if you're in options, you can roll. If you're in equity, you can sell a piece. You can raise a stop. There's so many different things you can do because you get a nice cushion. Like, look at this one. Trey, do you have any of this left? Me either. Well, not even close. But they just pumped it. Someone just pumped it. Look at this. An analyst from Nomura is calling this the hottest stock on the face of the earth next year. Somebody from Nomura came out right after the close and just gassed this up like they saw Jesus Christ. After a move already like this too, they got some pair. Look at this. So I like you see where MGNI caught that initial activity? I want to get in right when I first see the action. The problem is with me, I can't hold these things. You guys know that's the problem with a lot of us, But anyway, that's the only difference. Like, for example, Uber. Other than that, the action in Uber has been fantastic. How about this name, Fubo? This I crack up when I can't believe this thing. Oh my God. Fubar. If you told me that this was going to happen, I would have slapped you in the face when we bought it. Honestly. Come on. I mean, come on. They're rolling up into 70, 80s today, and I'm saying, wait, it caught me off guard. I'm like, look at this guy. He's rolling up into 70, 80s. What's wrong with him? Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my God, the stock is over 60. I don't even realize it. You know what I mean? I watch it go up every day. No, I don't have it. I had with a D. I don't have it. I do not have it. I would never, for me, like, I would never be able to catch all of this. Can you guys, honest answer, you think you could catch all of this from where we first bought it? You think you could sit in it long enough to catch all this? No way, right? Maybe a runner, right, that you leave alone you don't care about, but never a full position. Never. Take the buck and run. You sound like me. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's amazing if you can do it. Even just an ATR stop. You guys ever had that? The ATR stop? Just to keep you in line. It gives you something, a systematic number that will allow you to stay in trades longer. Blame me. Well, of course. So anyway, this has been nuts. This has been nuts. What else? Any action today caught your eye? Any new action? Anything? There were several new names. Yep, that's a cheapie. That you may want to keep your eye on. IDEX, it is, right? I tried day trading it, and it had a little pop, but I didn't take it, and it came right back down. But it looks interesting. What do they do? This IDEX. Ooh, what do they do? No clue, right? I'm going to look into this a little more. Maybe even, I don't have it now because I tried day trade. I got out of it basically for a scratch. But we'll see. If they come in, and they still hit it like some of the others, I have no problem getting in, taking a nice fistful if I think there could be a big move out of it. It's kind of like that IPOC. You know what I mean? You almost, if you can, you want to wait for the action to build. And then, then you can get in, grab a chunk if you want. Kind of like the IPOC. It went, it kind of played dead for a little bit. Then the action picked up, and then it went. Yeah, I see you guys mentioned, like, CBAT, I day traded that. I like this name. I'll tell you what, though. What's interesting about this? Is this the name that caught a short report from somebody the other day? Or is that a different symbol? Anybody know offhand? Let me check. I wanted to look intraday to see if this was the one. Is there a CBAT? Wait, no, this is CBAT. Hold on. 1 second. CBAT. It might be a different symbol, the one that caught a short hit piece. But this CBAT has had nice action. I day traded it today. And some of these have it has some time in there. So let me see. I'll tell you right now if this was the one. Yep. Oh, this is it. Okay. So look at this. J Capital, some short report, had negative comments on it. A hit piece from a short report. All right. That was on December 18. See, I got a good memory. I remember this. Okay. It was catching a little bit of put action off of that, off the short piece news. What was the date? I just want to see something. Hold on. That was on December 18th. You can't even see it. So here it is. Okay. See that right there? So make a long story short. Get it? Short. But make a long story short, what happened is They came in sweeping calls into that weakness. See? So sweepers said, get out of here, you little piker. Short this. And they came in and they started sweeping the other side into the weakness. So right there, that was an extremely bullish sign. And then it's not over, okay? And then, as you can see what I wrote here, the following day, look what they did here. They start selling puts. They start selling puts. And they sold a lot of them. A lot of them. If you look at open interest, you won't believe the total. Okay? So then this is the following day. Oh, no, this is today, right? This has to be today. Yeah. And then they bombarded call sweepers off the open today. They started right from the get-go. See? 9:35. So right there. You know what I mean? It pays to know this. You see how it tells a story? The flow tells a story to all this. You had a short report come out and try to take this thing down. Sweepers swept calls into that weakness, and it rebounded sharply. The following day, sweepers came in, slamming the bid, selling puts. And then this morning, right off the open, boom, they came in to buy more. You can't get much more aggressive than that. You can't get much more aggressive than that. And look, this was at 10:15 in the morning. 11,000 calls to 1,300 puts. And the puts look sold too. All right, and this is what it looked like. This is on the daily. So here are the 3 days that I just mentioned. Reversal here. Put sellers. Call buyers off the open. And this is a cheap little stock. This is a cheap little stock. And here was the move intraday. This is a 5-minute. Doesn't even do it justice here. You can see a nice rip off the open, little dip. Here's a dip. And then she heated up again when buying came in. Really nice play, though. And one to keep an eye on. So that's the CBAT story. What do you mean? You're a member of the Steam Room and you're not on private Twitter, Simon? If that's the case, hit up Spencer. Just email Spencer at Lucci with your Twitter handle. And he'll get you right on. Yeah, that laser, they were rolling some stuff in there. The laser today. Yeah, this is a little long in the tooth now too. I mean, you had this nice dip, but now I wouldn't. I'd be careful. Again, this is what I'd be careful chasing some of these things. On stuff you don't want to overstay your welcome. You'd rather look for little pauses and dips in these things. You got a better entry. You can try to milk it for more upside without, necessarily worrying about a reversal per se. And, a lot of times I see too many people in the Steam Room. They buy a stock, up 4, and then they get caught in a wash. Like I saw people today buying Apple when it was up like $4. Like, where were you yesterday when Apple was down getting tattooed with VLDR? Where were you? That's where you got to hit it. You can't buy Apple up $8 from yesterday's entry and expect not to get caught in a dip. I mean, come on. We got to be smart about it. And then, God forbid, we do get caught in a gut check. It's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. Purple. What's this thing doing? They bought some of this purple. I haven't looked at it because it's slow. Doesn't look bad. Purple. Looks interesting. What about this? You see this? A risk reversal, another risk reversal. These risk reversals, God forbid we see another risk reversal in the small cap, I'm going to lose my mind. I might have to put my whole book in it. You know what I mean? These risk reversal in these underbelly names have been lights out. Yeah, I mean, trust me, when there's a risk reversal, we're talking about it. So we don't need a list. They're just rare. Clean risk reversals are rare. You know, they're really, really rare. That's the problem. What do I got? iPod on here. That's gone now. QS. Wow. Wow. Tons of action, too. I don't know where they get all this money from buying QS. I really don't. Blink. That's another good one. Catches really big action, this Blink. Holy cow. I didn't know that. Wow. There's been some big bets in this Blink. Whew. I feel like it was $11 a week ago. My God, man. My God. What are you going to do? It's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You know, make money. You get lucky, you make a little bit more. SE still catching sweeps left and right. Now, like, SE is considered slow compared to some of these things up here. You know, yeah, Mara, this thing had a big move already. They're selling puts today, this Mara. This is, what is this? This is alternative energy too? Oh, Bitcoin, you're right, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Speaking of Bitcoin, I saw a couple of you guys made a nice little score in this thing, Riot. This big Riot, I don't believe it. Wow. 20 employees. Are you serious? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, I guess tied to blockchain. Unreal. Unbelievable. Yep, so that's the story. Bill, you guys know that Bill? That had another big day. Look at this ripping Bill. What a great stock this is. Yeah, these are real companies now, too. You're not talking like Riot, Bill, Four, all these names. These are real. These are, you know, a whole new batch of new leaders. PD. Munso. Oh, that had a big day yesterday, no? That had a huge day yesterday. I didn't own this one. I got scared because of China, right? It's China. AMRS. That's a good one. I played this a couple times. I'm holding a little AMRS overnight. I like AMRS. Yeah. And I gotta, do you know, Matt, is there a big short position in this? Because I remember the last time this thing got hot, it had such a sick run. I don't know where the hell it was. Might have been, was it this? I felt bigger than that. I don't know. It had a crazy run, and it was a big short squeeze. There's got to be a huge short position in this. But yeah, crazy action came in late. I don't even know how I forgot to mention this. There's so many names. But without a doubt, and you know, this thing, look, got hot off this action already. There's been action there. But the cheap stock. Cheap stock. The little guys, huh? What else? Anybody else have any other names? 23 million short interest. I got to look to see. Light. That thing got tattooed today. You know, you look at this light. Look at this. You know what I mean? This thing hasn't gone anywhere. This light. And this is legit, this light. This thing could get crazy, this light. How about that? This thing hasn't done anything in a long time. See, maybe we get a little pull, a breather. You know what I mean? Maybe a flag here. I didn't buy it, but I like it. They got Big Apple exposure too, don't they? Light, from what I remember. So I remember it was similar like SWKS. But this light can move. AQMS. Somebody, I think two of you brought it up on the webinar Sunday. Or some of the recent action. Crazy move. What do they do? Anybody know? It's not. It's got to be something. There's a hidden story somewhere in this. That's what it says, right? Unless maybe it's just the commodities. That's a whole other thing, guys. Next year, you get a commodity boom that we haven't had in ages. You know how many of these things have been shorted out to wazoo? Get some big moves. Recycled lead. I got to look into this a little. I'm going to ask my boy. He likes to dig into these things. Find the story in it. You know, there's got to be something. Unless it's just a commodity play. Could be. Could be just a commodity play. Someone just mentioned the name. I'm scrolling. Hold on. CRM. Yeah. You see, it was slow, right? It's a big name. And compared to some of these little guys, it's slow. But look, it's doing its thing. It's just a matter if you want to sit in it or not. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know, and if you buy it at the right spot, which that was a decent spot. Oh, green energy play. If you buy it at the right spot, you know, you shouldn't feel that too much of a drawdown. You know, that's important. Like AMD's breathing now, right? That's probably a decent spot if you're interested to look at it. You know, they're just slower. They're just slower, guys. You can't blame us. For those of us who are especially looking to be tactical here, the remainder of the year, you know, you can't blame us for wanting to be in where the quick money is. And the quick money is all these little niche plays. Crowd, forget it. Any flow, you got to see some of the bets in this crowd. I haven't played it once because it's been extended. So look at this behemoth. This was 770 grand. That was today. Or yesterday, maybe. Here's another one, 700 grand, Jans. There's some big action in this thing. Here's another one, another torpedo. The 200s, Jan 29th. Pelosi stock. Here's another one. Look, big. You see these bets? Look at this. 800 bananas. And the list goes on and on. They've been sweeping it for a while. This is the recent action. This is as far as Twitter lets you go back here. Oh, she loves stocks too. She does a little insider finagling. I remember Visa. She got caught with a little insider shenanigans. But yeah, crowd, a lot of action. A lot of action. ZS doesn't catch as much action, but when they hit ZS, you could buy it. It's good for a trade every time. Every time. This thing's a beast. Just an absolute beast. ZS. You know, and then this, under the radar name that they bought March calls in about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. We were calling them leaps at the time. Look at this. TENB. Nobody even knows they exist. And look at this. Look at this explosion. TENB. We'll probably, February, March, we'll be talking, and then one of you will be like, Jesus, remember that TENB? Hit it up. Be like $250. Phase, another one. Yeah, Phase getting lit up with action. I still can't buy Phase no matter what. But yeah, they're buying the daylights out of it. They're buying the daylights. Yeah, Teva's not going to go anywhere too far. It's slow, We're going to catch Bill Miller news, hopefully sooner than later. And we get a nice pop. It already had a decent run from here to here. But I'm looking more I'm going to try to get lucky with it. But these aren't, these things, if you're looking for movement, this is not what you buy. BHC, some decent action. This is not what you buy. These are tuck away names right now. These are tuck away names. If you're going to sell it, because it's not doing anything, then don't even buy it. It's not worth it. There's so much. Look how many names there are. There are names every day. There are new names. Every day there are new names. Every day. Yeah, RKT, I'm not a big fan of it. It looks okay. It looks good, but I don't like it because if rates go up, I don't see how this thing can get hot. You know what I mean? But maybe rates don't go up and it gets hot. So that's the thing. That's the thing. But again, to me, it's like a tuck away name. If you're looking for momentum, this is not what you want to be in. You want to be in underbelly tech or these niche green energy commodity plays. That's where all the juice is. All the juice. And it's not to say all the rest of these things can't trade higher, but what happens? You look at, you say you're okay with sitting in it, but you look at everything else flying around you, and you end up selling, taking a loss or a scratch for no reason, and it wasn't even worth it. Like, I can't even get myself to buy any bigger, larger names because of that. Even for short-term trades. The moves in these little guys are nuts. Vuzi, that's another one. Here, this is where the action is. This is where the action is. Teva's not doing that. BHC's not doing that. You know what I mean? No mega cap name is doing that right now. None of these names are doing that. It's all the little guys. And there's some good-looking big names out there. Visa caught a big bet. You want to sit in Visa? I don't. Yeah, you got biotechs that are knocking the cover off the ball. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. You're better off sizing down, put in what you're willing to lose. And if you're looking to swing, go into one of these names at the right spot. That's where you're better off doing right now. The risk reward is, favorable. Yeah, Kathy, that's all she's been buying her whole career are these names. And now they're all nuts. They're all nuts. This thing, there was a little rolling today. This thing had a nice move. NNDM. She could have retired before she got started. I'm sure she's not doing it. She's got money out the ass. Don't worry about her. Yeah, she's hot right now. COVID was the best. It's sad to say. COVID made her career. Do you realize that? Yeah, because of COVID. COVID made her every name she has, COVID was a huge beneficiary to, Yep, accelerated all those trends. All that stuff. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Yeah, that's why even when you see sweeps and then she adds the name or sweeps the names that she's been adding that haven't really gone anywhere. TAC. Oh yeah, TAC has caught a little flow. What is that, a biotech? I think, isn't this Chinese? I think it's Chinese. That's why I didn't really look at it. Oh, Japan. All right. That's better. That's better. This thing caught some flow, right? TAC. Yep. TAC. I remember. Let me see what they were hitting. They were hitting something on this TAC. It looks good, too. It hasn't really gone nuts. June calls. June 22 and a halves. June 22 and a halves. Did you buy any trade yet? Yeah? I'm going to look at this maybe tomorrow. I'm going to look at some of the past flow in it. Because I remember, oh yeah, it was on the unusual activity list a couple times, right? Yeah. I'm going to look back. I'm going to look back at some of the action there. Probably smaller, but who cares, Definitely looks good. Japan. Now if it was China, I've been shying away from some of these China names. Some of them have been moving nicely, but I don't want to get caught in any crap with that. She had 3 times last week. TAC. Let me put this on my screen so I don't forget. TAC. I can't keep up, Tree, with all these names. I can't keep up. You know what I mean? I can't keep up. I want to, because I day trade them. I need an assistant. I need that assistant. What the problem is? I day trade them, and I want to hold them all. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I fall in love with every single one of them. Like, I love this type of flow. I love it. Yeah, you gotta find, and there's a lot of luck involved in that, but there's no way to avoid it. You gotta find a few names that you like, and hang on to them, and maybe you get lucky. But it's luck. Trust me, it's luck. From BCRX. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this TAC. I'm not going to go nuts. I'm going to maybe I'll play like those June calls instead of equity and put in what I'm willing to lose, that type of thing. You know, I'm not going to go bananas because I'm sure the options are as liquid as right. The liquidity there is probably a disaster unless I just buy stock like I've been doing. But then I gotta, when you buy stock, I gotta, you gotta make sure you have stop losses. They're different than options. That's the beauty of options. You put in what your stop losses. Fleer, this is a decent looking name too. Fleer Systems. Oh, I know this name. Fleer. I know this name. Yeah, see, there's still names that haven't gone insane out there. There's still names. How about remember when her team was calling Roku the next Fang? Remember when they were saying that? This thing was dead and buried? Look at it. My Lord. Not BE. It's been quiet. Wow. New highs. Been quiet flow-wise of late. They've tattooed it this last leg here, but been quiet recently. But yeah, that good looking action. Did I mention this 4? It goes up little every day. This 4 is getting away from everybody. See, this was one I wanted to hold. I wanted to hold all of them. I kid you not. I wanted to 9 out of 10 of these things I want to hold. 9 out of 10. Net goes up a little every day. You still have net, or you're out of that by now, right? I gotta like George Straws to IAC quarter bet. But how is it, I know, I can't buy them up there. I can't. They keep going high. It's amazing, these things. Yeah, they're spinning off Vimeo, whatever the hell it's called. You know what it is, Tree? I owned it so much lower that I can't, you know what I mean? When they extend that much. Yeah, well, you're better off you ignored me. You're better off you ignored me. Yeah, I'm too conservative when it comes to that. Surf? Let me see surf. What is this? Looks good, Mr. Rick. Biotech? This is a catchy name too? The hell? She holds them all. Christ almighty, how much money she has in that account. Yeah, that's another good looking name. Does this trade options? No, right? Trades options. You remember this one we were looking at? You. You're still in you, Amy? How? How do you do it? Holding power is right. God. Yeah. I give you guys credit. You know what it is, Diamond is? I've been through the ringer. When you're in the game as long as I have, you've been through too many different kinds of markets to feel comfortable holding some of these things. Like she said, when they extend, I get worried, I get worried. Especially to buy, forget it. Especially to buy. Yeah, I just, I feel a lot more comfortable at the right spot, throughout my career. It's treated me well. And I don't, being under, see, when you buy extended names, you have to expect that you might be underwater. And if you don't like to be underwater, it's not, it's a frustrating thing buying extended names. But here's the kicker is, when you're in this type of climate, when things go bananas like this, you get away with it. But normal market conditions, you don't get away with it. You don't get away with it. You know how long from like 2000, I think it was, what was it, 2000? Let's see, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, you talk about this stretch here, okay? Was it 2018? No, it was before that. Hold on. I don't know, maybe it was. But it was probably this stretch here, okay? If you bought stocks that were extended at highs, you got destroyed. You know how many people I've seen get destroyed? So let's say like a net, right? Would bust out, have a nice run, and then it would flag up at an extended area, and people thought another move was coming. And then boom, it just come right down. So many times people would buy breakouts at the highs, and they got eaten up. But this and what we're in now, you get away with it. You get away with it. Yeah, this is a rigged market, without a doubt. I didn't play any SUM, but it's probably worth a look. Materials play. Let me see. Looks decent. I don't know how quick of a move you're going to get in it. You know what I mean? Like it's slow, exactly. If you want a quicker move, it's a lot cheaper and more speculative, but you're probably better off in something like this. This is like chemicals, but it's got squeeze to it. I mean, it's only $5, this thing. You're both. But I think we're already seeing it, but I think next year that's what's going to blow up commodities. We're already seeing signs of it. But they've been, that's a beach ball held underwater for a long time. Matt, you remember, that, whatchamacallit, that commodities breakout, we were less than a year too early there. When was it? Right before COVID. You know how much FCX I had? God forbid it would have done this here. Oh, man. Wasn't a bad move, but look, who knows what it would have done from here, and then COVID came. But luckily, I got out anyway, a lot of all the stuff before COVID got around. Yeah, we should have held through. We should just hold forever. DBX, that's another name they just annihilate. A lot of us played this DVX. We don't own it anymore, but they hit it hard again today. A lot of names, guys. Even slower names. This BURL, probably going higher. Another name with great action. SWBI had a nice move from where she took off. Oh, we didn't even talk about them, Rick. We didn't talk about these. Did you see these moves in these solar names? Did you guys see these moves over you're talking about in days. In days. Like, look at this, right? We just talking about JKS being at a great spot. Look. $20. Yeah, look, perfect. And then all of a sudden they start hitting it hard right here. Done. Didn't even give you a chance to sneeze before it took off. This Rick, how much flow are we going to watch in this before we decide to? CSIQ, I see it in my sleep, the sweeps. How many sweeps am I going to see in CSIQ before I decide to make money with it? Holy Christopher. I can't take it. I know I looked at 10 today. I had to take a double take. Wow. SPWR. But nowhere. They've been catching flow, but nowhere like CSIQ. It catches 10 sweeps a day when they're in play. Nuts. Insanity. Even first solar court action today, that got hot, right? Whoa, man. I don't know what to do with myself. ENPH. Jesus. Nari. What's this? Biotech? Oh, that looks nice. Run. Is that lagging? I forgot all about Run. Yeah, a little bit. Still looks good. Still looks good. This thing, no pun intended, had a huge run. You know what I mean? Look at this run. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if Tree is going to be like, yeah, what do you think about the run sweeps over here, let's say? That's what it's going to be like. Tree, I don't know. Had a big move. It's tough here. Be careful. You might want to buy some puts and build a bunker as protection. But these things, they have incredible moves, man. Incredible moves. Yeah, these solar names, like this JKS, I was like seriously contemplating, just again, because it was just such a great spot, buying it and holding it for a couple days, see if I could get lucky a couple days. Look what this thing did the last time it got hot. It went up remember, 3 straight weeks? Insane. Like, you had the niner, you had everything here. Sweeper, niner. The more I really, honestly, Rick, I don't know. For me, like, it's a day-to-day thing right now. As long as they keep seeing sweeper activity like we're seeing, this market can't go down. It can't. You know what I mean? It's impossible. It's impossible. Because sweepers, they're momentum. Market makers got to hedge. They got to buy. So, I'm not even going to pretend to try to forecast it. It's a day-to-day. As long as they keep sweeping and finding new names, maybe the major indices go sideways, but there's going to be money to be made in these names. There's going to be money to be made in these names. If they keep sweeping the way they just keep sweeping and sweeping, they don't stop. Yeah, Sharpies aren't concerned. Not yet. And listen, their sentiment is hot. There's no doubt about it. But it's pockets. It's not everything. You know what I mean? It's not everything. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. The flow is so broad that if, let's say, these alternative energy names need to cool off, they can buy 3 different other sectors that have been lagging. Exactly. That's what it is. Exactly. This right here, right? Oop, son of a gun. This. That's the money has to go somewhere. You know, that's why, like, you look at prior markets and history, you know, and I base a lot of what I do on that. You can't, because this is in a league of its own. There's no way to forecast this. Nobody ever seen anything like this. This is 2008, 2009 stimulus on steroids. You know, and not just us, the whole world. You got to see what the ECB is doing. It makes us look like we didn't even do anything. Well, that's why people are buying Bitcoin like mad. You know? That's why people are buying Bitcoin like crazy. And you know, right now you got COVID on fire, so it's likely going to have an impact on the economy. The market doesn't care because the Fed is not going to do anything. They're going to stay pat. If anything, add stimulus. And then you got the vaccine next year where people are going to come out of their house like gangbusters. Gangbusters. You got pent-up energy like we've never seen before, with so much money out there, it's not even funny, you know? So listen, if you're telling me this could end up becoming the biggest bubble ever to burst, I can't argue with you. But it's got to blow up into a big bubble first. You know? But you guys, you remember exactly. Just make sure to have a chain. You got some good one-line trade. You got some good one-liners lately, huh? Remember that chart we were looking at where it shows where the Fed was easy, and then when the Fed was tightening, we looked at one of those Sunday webinars. For those of you who are members, you know, you saw where the market had trouble. When the Fed's tightening, that's where, when the Fed gets tight, that's where things run into trouble. When the Fed stays loose, you get these little gut checks, but they need to be bought. You know, they need to be bought. So like I said, I think we get a gut check, but I think, you know, that's why we want to have ammo to buy that gut check. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of buying that comes into that gut check. I don't care what the news is. The scarier the news, the better. The likelihood is the gut check is going to come on news where we think the end of the world's coming. But we still got to buy it. You know, who knows what that news is going to be? I have no idea. Maybe it's this COVID shit, right? Yep. You took the words right out of my mouth. Because I can't see a gut check unless it puts the 2021 playbook, unless it knocks that off course. You understand? And if there's a second strain of COVID and the vaccine might not work for it type of thing, you know, that could be what gets some selling into the mix. But we got to look to buy it. We got to watch every sentiment indicator and sweepers like hawks to buy that. You know what I mean? Exactly. Because no matter what it is, you know, you got the Fed that's going to do something. They might, even if they just stand pat, you know, when this economy, when people finally come out of their house, you got so much pent-up energy, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yep, Amy, that's the only, you know, I'm having a lot of fun with these names. I wish, you know, I can hold a lot of them, but the only reason I don't is because we're not at that point. You know, once we get to that point again, that's when I can get really aggressive again. So, but it made a nice nice little finishing touch to the end of the year, no? With this market. Could have been a lot worse. We could have just been a dead period where, just chop and nothing going on, no excitement, right? Same names catching action. I mean, this was the best case scenario. All these names. Inflation could be the dagger, but things would probably still need to heat up further before inflation becomes a problem. You know what I mean? But inflation could be the ultimate dagger, without a doubt. I don't see how this doesn't end up in a bubble scenario, but what the hell do I know? Yeah, whatever. Listen, until we get a gut check, we take it day by day. You know what I mean? You don't stick out your neck too far. Make sure, I don't want to sound corny, stop losses, things like that. It's okay to give back some money. You make some money, you give back some money. But you just don't want to get lumped up until we get that gut check. Then once we see the white of the eyes from the pullback, then we can make some moves. But we don't know. Could come the beginning of January, could come late February. We have no idea. No idea. They tried Monday, but there was just so much. There was the buying that came in, Rick, right? You know what's funny? Not even, like I said earlier, it wasn't even the buying that came in. The sweepers acted like nothing happened. They were just buying the same names. You know what I mean? They just kept buying the same names. The market wasn't even down. They don't care if the market's up, down, sideways, crooked. They come in, they're going to buy those alternative energy names. They're going to hit up solar names, and then they're going to find a few new ones. Yeah, exactly. It's like machines. Anyway, guys, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. All right? Stay safe. Be careful out there. It's been a fun year. Don't let COVID bite you in the ass, God forbid. All right? Merry Christmas to everybody and their families. I'll see the rest of you mañana in the room, but those of you I won't see, enjoy the holiday. Have a good night, everybody. Mañana trabajo.